Bloop. Alright. Top right side, we have a blue Zerg fighting for. Hence, it is Serral. Bottom left side, there is a red Terran player. He is fighting for Psystorm Gaming. It is the one and only Double Terran, Gumiho. Alright, let me get the chat back here as well. So yeah, this is now a replay cast, guys. We are doing a little show from the ASUS ROG over here, the tournaments that is happening. And yeah, just seeing what's going on. We had a short series between Classic and Mr. Trap, so moving things along. Checking some more StarCraft out. Alright, spawning pool in the top right, and we have a barracks coming up in the main base. Probably a Reaper expand, I would imagine, coming in from Gumiho here. Where Serral, well, he's just doing the regular Zerg stuff with a spawning pool first, I suppose. That is gonna try to keep the Reaper of his opponent on the other side of the map. Actually, it's gonna be a Marine here. Might be something for the Zerglings to chew upon on the other side of the map. Right. Second base is on the low ground as well, after all. Let's follow this little SCV as it will start to find quite a bit of trouble here. You can see this, just the fear in his eyes as he turned around. Running away as soon as he can. Reactor for the factory also. It looks like Serral's not even really gonna try to do anything here with these Zerglings. It's just, he made 2 of them. He forced out a bunker. So a lot of, well, I say a lot, but some overall investments being made here by Gumiho, trying to avoid dying to a bunch of Zerglings in the early game. Where Serral's just starting up the droning again behind this. Oh. Oh. What's this? Quick Overlord speed coming in from Serral. Wants to get a good scout off, I imagine. It is very important to know what Gumiho is going for, right? A player like Gumiho, he could be going for mech, could be going for bio, could be going for a battle cruiser for all you know. Could be going for something you've never seen before, really. Gumiho, a player that likes to innovate as well. Just kind of go with his own playstyle. There's the Speeder Lord right now zooming on in. With the speed of sound. They get eliminated rather quickly. The creep is starting to spread. Gumiho has been struggling to be aggressive across the map because he did go for Marines and a Cyclone first, you know, not something you see all the time in the TVZ opening. Particularly when you're going for bio, I have to add. So this is an interesting one. The 2 Hellions with the Cyclone might be able to pick off Queens a little bit easier. But I feel like you're going to be a lot more susceptible to just a, well, relatively small amount of links. Okay, Serral here wants to make sure that his opponent is in fact going for the bio. Sees these two barracks still on the tech lab and the reactor. So he's aware what is coming at him unit composition wise. It's pretty much impossible for Gumiho to still make a switch right now. Just be like, alright, cancel the stim, cancel the engineering base, we're going Mac, baby. We'll never see it coming. At that point, he'll just be so far behind that he'll just lose to Ling Bailing anyway, even though he does have mech, I would imagine. So 4 bases worth of mining going to be available for Serral here in the not so far distant future. Gumiho setting up shop with a 3rd base pretty soon as well, I imagine. Can have a siege tank here, nice on the high ground, protecting kind of these 3 areas over here. Overlord for Serral still on the left side there. And honestly, with the quicker Overlord speed, I would love to see some Baneling drops or Zergling drops here and there coming into play as well from Serral. That'll be really cool and fancy to see. Right now, he's going to need those Banelings back at home, of course, because these Marines are not messing around. Serral a little bit jittery with the links right there, as we know that he is playing with about 300 ping at the moment. We'll try to just get rid of these rocks as quickly as possible. I'd like to see some other units perhaps going towards the top side, yeah. We'll lose those creep tumors now. But the Queen's close by. Maybe a little bit too close by. Okay, nice transfuse as well. Doesn't lose any of them. These creep tumors though, I'm not sure if they'll survive. One of them, well, one of them stays alive. It's good enough. It's going to force another scan out if Gumiho ever wants to clean any of that up. We now have a scouting overseer in the base of Mr. Gumiho. Sees the 2 engineering base, sees all of the barracks.
Successful.
Knows that there's a 3rd base, I would imagine.
Command
Not entirely, but I hope he does. I hope he has made that assumption. He hasn't double checked for it yet though, which has me a bit worried. Gumiho is coming in here with quite a big attack. Serral should be able to squash this. But will he be able to then go across the map and actually do something of his own? It's going to be the next question. Some reasonable Banelings right there so far, taking out the Cyclones and the Hellions. A couple of Marines before the siege tanks were sieged up. So now, here we go, the first wave of Ling Banelings starting to spill on through. Small Banelings coming from the back. Perhaps not the cleanest way for Serral to clean this up, but he does clean it up. There's not enough Terran coming in as reinforcements to really stabilize that front again and reacquire a pushing position from that area. Very interesting hatchery here as well. Just a macro hatchery straight in the middle. Very easy for all those queens to throw their larvae on there. It's a pretty cool thing actually when you think about it, right? All those queens spreading creep. May as well use them for some injects at sometimes on your macro hatchery. Pretty cool, pretty cool. It's quicker reinforcements as well if you want to have those links come in a little bit quicker in the front line. Yeah, it's actually... The more I think about it, the more I like kind of a hatchery, like your macro hatchery a little bit further forwards. As long as you have the creep spread to kind of protect it. That and I mean, it's very difficult for the Terran now to just throw down a scan and get rid of all the creep tumors, right? It's gonna need to kill a hatchery now in order to get rid of the creep there. Which is one of the main places. Wherever, if you lose your creep there on that location, in between 3 bases, the Terran manages to just set up shop. It's a very, very difficult situation for the Zerg to deal with. 2 drops. Not finding a lot of creep tumors, I suppose, so far. We're still spreading out. Still creep slowly pushing its way forwards. But the 2 drops are trying to make this a lot more difficult to do, of course. Couple of units there with a bit of a tango. Still nothing that can shoot the medevacs right now available. No Mutalisk, Hydralisk, anything of the sorts. We're just going straight into Hive Tech here from Serral. As... oh, wait, no, he does have a Hydra Den. Just no Hydras. He's looking for the Lurkers here. Hasn't quite started them yet. I think I saw him try to make one, but that may have been a mistake for him, not letting that... or maybe he cancelled it himself, who knows? Who knows at this point? It's getting Burrow... Hydralisk upgrades, there's the Lurker Den. In comparison to his Hive, his Lurker Den was very late, but let's see, this is a big Baneling Wave actually. Will he be able to get this base? Oh my dear lord, he does. That was not lifted up into the sky quickly enough at all. That just kind of remained put on the ground. Refusing to vacate the area. It's like one of those people that refuse to leave their house when a hurricane is coming. Then again, this was the house, and alright, that is a GG being called right there. The top left side, there's the blue Zerg, fighting from Finland. It's Ents Serral. Opponent in the bottom right side, a red Terran. We'll need to get 2 victories in a row here. It is Gumiho. Moving things along again here. This time around, no spawning pool first for room. Our little Finnish man in the top left side. Just sticking true with the hatch first build. So we don't have an SCV. Okay, there we go. That's an SCV. He's going for a command center first as well, actually. Should have noticed that before, huh? He's going for the CC first. Very cool. Very cool. Very daring as well, considering he was up against a spawning pool first play before. Although it was a spawning pool first play, it wasn't... like, he didn't even have to worry about a single Zergling, though, so... I suppose if you're facing against an opponent who goes Zergling first, and then you don't have to fight any Zerglings in the early game anyway, you're probably feeling pretty safe. You're probably feeling pretty safe. You're like, alright, well, even if he does go Zerglings first, he won't even come to kill me. He won't even come to try and do something. So yeah. Could just all be a ploy from Serral, though. The mind game's coming into action, but no. He's just a solid player who will play solidly and just beat you that way. I'm sure he still does mind games, right? I'm just not clever enough to pick up on them. There's a factory with the... no reactor, actually, just yet. Okay, there we go. Serral's looking everywhere, ready to find some proxies. So far, nothing yet. You know, we know that he won't find any proxies, but he doesn't quite yet. Might be units moving along those edges as well, of course, for attacks. Whether it be Hellions, Reapers, anything of the sorts could just come in from those weird angles. So, very good for players to just occasionally have units on those long distance pathways around where people try to hide their approach from or through. Just like this little Reaper, right? Just like little Mr. Reaper here. Comes in. Oh, what's this? A surprise. It's a Reaper. Well. I guess it didn't do much this time, but imagine if it had 2 Hellions with it, right? There's an Overlord here now. It's seeing everything coming in. It's not great. It's not great for Gumiho here as a start. Maybe you could have made something happen with the Hellions there. Although, you know what? If you commit on this creep with the Queens already here, you never know how many Zerglings are going to just run straight for your Hellions either, right? It's very tough to kind of get a good read whether or not it's safe for your Hellions to go in like that or not. It's truly a YOLO move. Good scout. Serral sees the 3rd base of Gumiho and also the tech lab on the starboard doing its little green thing. Being a little hulky tech lab right there. Raging out about something. It's the Bruce Banner Hulk scientist. Oh, doesn't have cloak yet. Doesn't have cloak yet. That's a lot of damage already being sustained. May have to consider bringing that Banshee home and just let it be repaired. Ooh, Banshee speed's coming in as well. That is a lot of fun here. With another factory also. Right, guys, we're getting it. We're getting the Mac out of Gumiho. The Gumi Mac. Why are you attacking that creep tumor? Stop it. Don't do that. It's a nice creep tumor. There's nothing wrong to you. Banshee's got to be really careful here, yeah. If there were more queens there, ready to poke. Ugh. One slight misstep. Especially with going for these Banshee upgrades, you really do not want to lose your Banshees. It's a shame he hasn't gotten any damage done yet either. But he's bringing it back for repairs. I do like that. As the Hellion says, a little bit of a interference force right now. There we go. Already a couple of creep tumors down. And just skedaddle, skadoodle. Run like a Hellion noodle. And get yourself to safety. Alright, a bit of a daring move there from the Hellions. Not sure if you want to try to fight the Queens here either. Perhaps taking a bit more damage than they should have. There's Zerglings here. There's the Zerglings on the top side flank in case the Hellions do make the loop around. That's exactly where they go. Where's the Banshees during all of this? Let's try to quickly take a look. Okay, they are just being healed up. Does he still only have 1? He should have more, right? Okay, he has 2 now. Still making more. Does he have 3 now? Okay, he does have 3 now. This is where stuff gets interesting. He's forgetting one of his Banshees. Gumiho. Gumiho. Man, that feels bad. The friend that gets left out. I forgot to invite him. I just completely forgot. They completely blanked out on their 3rd friend. I guess you only need 2 to one-shot drones, though. Maybe that's the idea here. Maybe he wants to have, like, 2 squadrons of Banshees rather than just the 1 of 3. Utilisk can overseer. Does he have the overlay? Oh, he does. Okay, overseer speed here. Making things difficult. Cloak was about to run out on this one, so he thought, you know what? It's probably gonna die anyway. Let me just make room for my other Banshee to stay alive a little bit longer. This is a rough situation. Fighting the Mutalisk with Banshees is a very rough thing to have to do. Kind of shutting down the entire harassment potential of the Banshees almost in a way. Might have to consider switching it up a little bit into a different tech structure there from rather than the Banshees. I guess he could utilize the Banshees in combination with the with the Thors, or you know what, he could just... It's not great. I think he's lost one of the Banshees there. Mutalisk. Finding some work, but the main base of Serral with this third as well, completely defended with the Spore Crawlers there. Great placement overall. A couple of Banelings here. Might be able to find the SCV line so far. Okay, there we go. There's the reaction. Not too many of them go down, but the Mutalisk now on top of the low HP, unprotected missile turret. Jumping in on a couple of siege tanks here as well. Will not go for the missile turret, but let's find some, you know, some valuable units. Siege tanks, some Hellbats as well. Topside Banshee still kind of waiting here. Look at this map control being achieved though by Serral. He is absolutely everywhere. Right now the map is his. These overlords, just look at this vision he has. This is insane. He's just set up an entire squadron of overlords ready to see anything coming in. While they're also spreading creep on top of these expansion areas. Very cool to see. A couple of Ravagers now starting to push on through. Not sure if they'll be able to achieve anything here without the Mutalisk though. There we go. That's the Mutalisk. The Overseer a little bit railing behind. Needs to watch out for... Oh my dear lord. That's a lot of Mutalisk. Serral losing 14 Mutalisk in a singular... like Thor squadron shot. Yeah, that is nasty. That is nasty, man. 5 Thors just one-shotting the 14 Mutalisk. Oh, that was rough. Now going into a couple of Corruptors instead. He's like, you know what? Maybe not the best to have the Mutalisk here as my answer to the Banshees. To be fair, there's no more further Banshees coming in. So I like the Great Aspire also starting up in the production queue. So as soon as he doesn't need Corruptors anymore, he can just make that switch into Brute Lords here. Overlord not on hold position, so the creep will not spread as much as it could. Guess it doesn't matter for Gumiho that much. Breaking down some more rocks. Opening up more areas for his Zerg units to just squander on in. Oh, Gumiho? Okay, no, I thought he was mining this out actually for a moment, but it's just a Viking patrolling this place. Quite the formidable force here of Thors moving alongside the ride. Still a fairly small army though, and I guess, you know, it's not... He could still be 20 army supplies stronger than this. And I'm not even sure if this is his entire force. Oh. Sorry about that. Let's get the camera on this. Yeah, already sustaining a little bit of damage there. It's tough to dodge the biles with the Thors here as well. You need to have a solid line of siege tanks to kind of keep those Ravagers at bay, I suppose. Well, maybe the Cyclones could do a good job with it as well. Siege tanks always have the problem that, you know, if you don't have enough of them to really just obliterate the Ravagers, the bios are just going to get your siege tanks. And she's there struggling, trying to get the safety of the rest of the army. The Thor's not as busy with trying to protect the Banshees, though. He does get a base. But he is losing a lot of SCVs as well. Nice circling run by here, managing to squander some resources of Gumiho. Good amount of SCVs going down. Hellbats not really finding a lot of work here. More Zerglings ready to continue onwards with this onslaught of the SCVs. Need to have a couple of Hellions here joining in. What are they doing? Come on, Hellions! Help your SCVs! 26 of them go down that time. That's a rough amount of SCVs to have be going down. 26 in total, actually, with the 2 Zergling run-bys combining, I suppose. Another command center has been acquired by Gumiho, though. He is on max supply. He's only on 55 workers. But how many orbitals does he have? He has 4 now. He has a 5th on the way. He should be able to stay alive here. He should be able to stay alive here. But will he be able to keep the amount of bases that Serral needs here in his own hands, in his own territory? Oh, losing a lot of Cyclones there, actually. A little bit rough. Biles not making the connections, though. There's the Infestors. Good scan on top of them, though. Are they looking for the Neural? Possibly. Most of the siege tanks getting taken out by a quick Ravager shooting. Wish Changelings for Observers didn't have the you know, the enemy color sometimes. You see this like little red dot and you're like, what is going on here? Right, what's going on here? Why is there a red unit there? Alright, slight push from that area. The main force of Gumiho is starting to scalp away at this Lev creep here available. And now a big Baneling bust. That should be able to blow this up rather quickly. Together with some of the SCVs as well. An attempted run-by of Hellions, not going to find as much damage here. It's kind of getting poked away rather quickly. Oh, the Brute Lords have been discovered. The Cyclones are right on their heels with those Hellions being able to get rid of all the Brutelings very quickly. Is there any Queen Transfuse available to save these Brute Lords? Doesn't look like it. Most of them already gone. One remains as the rest of the army of Serral here is coming into play. Oh, let's see the Infestors on the bottom side going for them. The Battle Mech army, I suppose, is better than not having anything here. And those Cyclones, actually, those Cyclones looking onto Thors is doing a lot of damage, but reinforcements comes in and makes it very difficult for those Infestors to be there. Couple of Banelings with the Ravagers and the Zerglings. Are they going to be enough to deal with the Thors now? Very tight situation for Mr. Serral. Needs to figure out exactly where and where he cannot take this fight. And Gumiho backs off. Is he sure he wants to back off here? This may not be the right choice. I guess all these Thors are quite low, so he just wants to try and repair them. Which is, you know, good. But has he really dealt a lot of damage to Serral's economy here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Serral is going to be able to replenish very, very quickly. And sure, he's going to be able to repair and be more cost efficient this way, but Serral still has a lot of map control. Okay, does manage to take out this base once again, so you know, that does solve some of my problems I was having with this position. Gotta love the burrowed Zerglings on all these potential Terran bases as well, though, of course. Some Overlord creep spreading going on the top right as well. Gumiho will have to start thinking about how he's going to take those bases. Although he's not mining with a lot of stuff, so it's not like he's oversaturated, I suppose. Right? No, no. He's mining off of like 3 bases and he's not oversaturated. He is very, very low on SCV numbers. Oh. 2 SCVs. It's good. I'd say every single SCV you kill here is Serral. Could put Gumiho down the drain a little bit. But then again, I guess Gumiho is going to be able to just be on maxed out army supply a little bit higher. Look at this already with 40 army supply above Serral right now. Serral does have a good bank though, so a proper remax should be coming into effect as soon as this army dies. But if the fight happens on Serral's side of the field, Could be very difficult to make that happen, of course. There we go, Serral immediately coming in with the neural parasites, not wasting a moment to just grab whatever he can. He's starting to zap away at these Thors. They... Wow, okay. That was... What? Really? That's... Wow! That's crazy. Oh, this is nice. Little Christmas ornaments. Alright, well, that was something. That was something. Serral, I can't believe he just won it like that. That's crazy. He didn't even have to remix. That was nuts.